Hey, what's up, guys? I actually already recorded this, but my thoughts were all over the place, and I rewatched what I just recorded, and I'm like, man, fuck, everyone's gonna close this shit. But, so I'm up to level 10 in the Zero system now. I just had the most insane Mika run I've seen. Like, I haven't seen a Mika more insane than the one that I just had. I could show you what it bricked into. It was on a level 9. It rewarded me with a level 10. I could show you what it bricked into and just tell you what it had on top of it. Or you could just go look at the screenshot in my posts and you'll see it for yourself. But I just want to let you realize like what this thing was before the save got nerfed. So it was the 67k one right here. This was on a level 74 world, level 9. I had four cards I removed. I removed all the basics and I removed the whirlwind. And I had 4 copies of this source of water here. 4. I duped it twice. Well, no, I duped it 3 times, I guess. Right? Yeah, I think you have to dupe it 3 times to get 4 of them. I kept this epiphany. And this was epiphanied as well. It wasn't a great epiphany. It was no, actually this one was really good. It was like -1 cost, and I have a screenshot over here. And 2 ego points. Yeah, this thing was insane. 2 ego points, draw 3 for 0. Actually insane. And the gear bag, what was it before? Oh, it was also -1 cost and a fortitude, which isn't a big deal. Like, honestly, if this got nerfed and the build stayed as is, or even if I just kept 3 of these waters and maybe it just put back in 1 water barrier, like, I would have been completely happy with the build. It would still be really good. But the reason I'm making this video is because after doing that, like, when I have these insane builds, this isn't the only insane build I have. If you refer to my previous video with Kelipe, I had an insane build on Kelipe too, and that shit got nerfed into the ground just like this one did. I think I locked it. Just to remember. Just to remember it. So if I have a shitty build in here, that's what it is. It might have been this one. Put all the basic cards back in. I don't know if it was this one or not. No, because it had counter. Which one is it? Don't think it was that one either. What the fuck? Which one was it? It might be this one. This one just, yeah, maybe, yeah, it was this one. It has the defense. If you refer back to the video, you can see what it was before. But I had, I think, 3 iron walls or 4 iron walls in it. It removed 3 of them. It put this back in. And then, yeah, I had the Agony Vulture. I think I had 3 Agony Vultures in that build as well. It was something crazy. Like, I had 3 Iron Walls and 3 Vultures with, like, 3 God Epiphanies. But, moving forward, okay, this is my Kelipe that's actually saved. That's actually good. This build has 4 God Epiphanies in it. 3 Vultures with a God Epiphany, and my Overpower. Okay? 2 blues, 1 mythic, 2 regular epiphanies, a basic card, and then the ultimate card. I removed 2 cards during the run, and it put none back in. And the reason I'm telling you everything is, and this was on a very high save, I think this was somewhere in the 60s or something. The 60 worlds. But I don't think that matters. I think it's just high, very high, low, medium, whatever. Right? Normal. And this is how I think we should move forward in going to figure out. Like, I don't think we're going to figure out how save data works. Like, why it removes this or why it removes this. I think we just look at it face value for what it is and stop overthinking the damn thing. Maybe you can only remove a maximum of 2 cards before it decides to put them back in. Like, based on that Mika that I had, it put all 4 cards that I removed back in. But that was in an instance where I had 7 God Epiphanies in the build. Right? 7. with 2 legendary neutral cards and a basic neutral card or a common neutral card, whatever. 7 God Epiphanies weighed out, maybe that's what forced the cards back in when it was removing those. Like it just deleted the remove. I do think there's a 2 remove limit outside of that. If anybody has ever, I'm talking even once, removed all 3 of their basic cards and the build saved, let me know. Because I don't think it can happen. I think you can remove a maximum of 2 cards. And the only way you can get rid of the last basic card is by converting it into something else and not removing it. Because you didn't remove it technically. I have had someone come in my comments and let me know that like a card they converted was put back in. But I think what happened there was in the same instance with what happened to this Mika here, where it put in all 4 cards you probably just had in the same build, and it just put all the cards back in to like, I don't know, balance it out or whatever the fuck the program is thinking. I don't know how it works, right? But yeah, I was gonna show. So this one here, no basic cards in it. I didn't remove this one. I used the the 3 cards at the beginning of your run, convert into neutral cards, and this was one of my neutral cards. And then I removed the other 2, and it kept this. This build stayed kind of the same. It's a dog shit build, but it didn't force any of the other cards back in. It has 1 God Epiphany, and then regular Epiphanies and everything else. This card didn't even have Epiphany, so maybe that has a weight on it as well. I'm starting to think it's entirely possible. I don't know how the Epiphanies weigh on your own cards. Does it give you those for free? Like if you get them on your own cards in your deck? I don't like if they're just regular Epiphanies, because in the case of my Kelipe, it has the 2 Epiphanies and then the 4 God Epiphanies, and all the cards stayed and it didn't fuck anything up. The build was exactly the same as the run. But like in this instance here, like Whirlpool didn't Epiphany at all, and the build stayed kind of the same. It was just a shitty build. So I think dodging an Epiphany on a shitty skill might be a good thing. Like, honestly, not getting an Epiphany on this card really doesn't do anything for you, because like I didn't gain wave here. I gained a 50% heal for 2 turns. Who cares? It's fucking dog shit. Like, I would rather this not be here and then an Epiphany staying on this card, for example, than rather than it getting removed off of this because I have it on this one, right? So I think looking at your cards in that sense is like when you can choose what gets an Epiphany and what doesn't. I mean, you could remove the card. This is another way you could do it. Like if there's one card in your deck that's not particularly good and you want to like manipulate what gets hit with the Epiphany a little bit more, you can like here you could remove Whirlpool and it won't get hit with the Epiphany at all, and then you leave in the 2 water drops or the two one cost, like the water barriers. Leave both of these in. These don't Epiphany at all, right? So you removed the Whirlpool. Hopefully it doesn't get put back in. I don't know exactly how that works. Anytime I've removed a card that was higher than basic quality, it got put back in. But I was also removing a lot of other shit too, so I have to test that myself. But if you leave 2 water barriers and remove Whirlpool instead, that's 1 less card that can get hit with an Epiphany in your deck. And then maybe you guarantee everything else gets hit with the Epiphany. So like the neutral cards that you get in here, like Reorganize, Attack, Gear Bag, whatever. And that's 1 less Epiphany going towards your save, and you just have the 2 basic cards instead. That's 100% like you do something like that on Mei Lin, right? Or any other character that like your basic card has an additional effect, like outside of just like being a piece of shit in your deck. Like it's shit in Mika's, but like Tressa's applies Agony, for example. Hers applies Ember. You know, like Luke's is a bullet card. You know, like hers gives you counterattack. Like there's certain basic cards that give you more than others. Like Ray's are all dog shit. But like on these characters, like his are bullets. Ren's, they give you Dark Mist stance, you know? There's some that aren't terrible at keeping an extra basic card and then maybe removing another card that you don't want to use as much. And then it's one less epiphany you get, and then maybe you can push that card. You can maybe get more God Epiphanies and then run like a 7-card deck and then go from there. That's another option you can try. But I think the best thing for us all to do as a community is to just look at the good builds that are available through content creators, through yourself, through your friends, through your discords, whatever. And then we get a good baseline on what we know works. So I know if I go into a very high run and I have a loadout with a character that has 4 God Epiphanies on their own cards, 2 regular Epiphanies, 2 pieces of blue equipment, and 1 mythic, that deck should save. It should save because I've already done it, right? So now the next step for me would, for me to do was maybe, okay, let's up the gear to legendary quality in a mythic. See if it saves then, or see if it just yeets a fucking shit card back into my deck because maybe I exceeded the threshold that it likes, right? Maybe I just try to throw in 1 extra basic, like a neutral card, like throw in an Iron Wall into this deck and then see if that affects it. Like throw in 1 extra neutral card, get the same exact loadout but just +1 neutral. That's maybe got a regular epiphany on it. See if it's nerfed at that point. And then you just kind of like keep doing that on the builds that you do. You just got to have a good reference, and you know, like, I guess it's kind of remembering a lot. But really, you just got to look at your good builds, and like I can always remember that, like, okay, 4 gods, 2 regular, 2 blue, you know? And then like that's pretty easy for me to remember. If I were to go in and try to replicate this with Haru, for example, I would just run 2 blues here, get the mythic at the end, and then try to run 4 God Epiphanies. And this is why I'm kind of thinking this is how there's just a median, and where you can figure out where the sweet spot's at for the deck, is because my Haru is very similar to my Kelipe. The difference is it's got 1 less God card, but 2 pieces of legendary gear instead of 2 pieces of blue. I don't know how these are weighed in comparison to this. Like maybe I could have had an extra neutral card in here and it still wouldn't have changed. I don't know. Maybe I could have had an extra duplicate of a regular epiphany like this and it wouldn't have changed. That's entirely possible too. But I think this is like the baseline I'm going to go through personally, and I'm going to try and recreate builds similar to this with DPS that don't bring in any neutral cards, because I think neutral cards really skew how you look at things. I think maybe with neutral cards, they're just weighed differently between their rarities, I'd imagine. So maybe if you get, maybe you can do 2 God Epiphanies of Rally, but you can only do 1 of, you know, Reorganize, right? That's entirely possible as well. And then we just figure out the sweet spot. That's it. Once we figure out the sweet spot, then we can start putting out templates for like, okay, you want to build this character, this is the template, these are what you want to shoot for. If you shoot for any more than this, your build's going to get bricked at the end of the run and you're not going to be able to save it. So right now we're just kind of guessing, but I think now, since we've been playing for the game for a week and some people have good builds, you just recreate the build. That's it. Like it's pretty simple, to be honest. And I think in doing this, like, we can actually just get full good builds on every single character. And I'm gonna start doing this myself. Like when I notice a character is getting focused, like I'm gonna do that with in mind. So like, okay, well, it's got 5 God Epiphanies. Like at this point, like I probably need to just equip nothing but blue armor. And like, oh, I've already removed 2 cards. I can't do any more than that. I can't duplicate anything else in this deck. It's gonna get bricked. And then you gain that knowledge going in there. And then like, you don't exactly know how it works, but you have a good idea on what's gonna happen based on what you do, right? Like, you don't know how it works. Like, perfect example is like, you don't know how, like, you know how a lock works. Like, you turn the key and it locks, but fucking, could you go build a lock, you know, that has its own key that you put into and unlocks and locks, you know, with your bare hands without having that knowledge of like, how all that shit works? No. You understand how it works, but you don't understand the fine details of how it works. Does that make sense? Like, it's the same concept here in trying to figure out to get the build. That's it. That was a fucking wild analogy, but I hope you get what I'm saying. This is what my plan is going forward. I'm just going to try and recreate my Haru's build on other characters. I'm going to try and recreate Kelipe's build on other characters, and I'm going to stop being so damn ambitious when it comes to building a Mika. I have seen Mikas that have 4 sources of water here, and that's not like crazy out of the question. Like, I could see how that build could save because I have it on Mika here, or Kelipe. Sorry, I have the 4 God Epiphanies, and then all the regular other shit. So why wouldn't I be able to do that on Mika, where I have 4 God Epiphanies all on the sources of water, and then everything else is a regular Epiphany. I didn't greed in any other neutral cards, and then I have the same quality gear. I should be able to recreate that shit right on Mika, just fine, just easily, right? The neutral cards is what makes it difficult to do, because some neutral cards are just weighed. I think they're weighed more than the decks, the initial cards in your deck, and then like you just gotta kind of see. Maybe that at that point you try 3 of your own cards, and then maybe 1 neutral card, do the same quality, right? So like on Kelipe, for example, I would take out one of these vultures and put in a God Epiphany Iron Wall and see if it saves the same way. Because it's blue to blue, right? Get what I'm saying? But that's gonna be it, guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Help me out with this. If you found out anything else, a lot of the stuff that I thought to be true is like, seems like it's just true most of the time. Excuse me, it's not like guaranteed. I still think the conversion method is the best way because it's not a removal. It never undoes the conversion, and I think the only way if it puts like all the bullshit back in your deck is if you're just too ambitious with the save. That's what happened to me with that other character, and I think that's what happened to the guy that mentioned it in the comments, because like when I just change the cards out, like it doesn't just randomly throw them back in unless the save I have is insane, right? But yeah, I'm gonna stop yapping. I'll catch you guys later. See you down in the comments. Like, comment, subscribe, all that shit. Peace.